Looking for a way to get healthy? The Chef You and I program has the answer. Kathryn Raaker and chefs from around the nation will teach even the most inexperienced how to cook. Come into their kitchen and watch them take ordinary foods with loads of calories and fat and turn those foods into healthier dishes. You will be the first to get tips and ideas on foods that are easy to prepare. Now let's join Kathryn and today's chef and learn how to make today's recipes.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of The Chef You and I, and today is our Christmas cooking show. I'm so excited because my friend, Marion Merton, actually is from beautiful England, and I decided I wanted to do an English Christmas. So we're doing roast beef, and it's a regal rump roast. We're doing roasted parsnips and roasted potatoes and a few onions from my husband who loves onions. Also, we're doing a cheesecake. We did a cheesecake, little mini cheesecakes. We brought wonderful mince pies for dessert. And I think we might have a little salad in there somewhere. I'm not sure. We'll see how much time we have today. But I want to start off with showing you how to prepare the roast. Now, in England and other places, they use lard, okay, or you can use Crisco, one or the other, hard Crisco. And this is a regal rump roast. Well, you're going to put it in the pan like this, right? But you have to actually use the lard or Crisco on top of the meat because you're going to put that on the bottom of the pan. So what we're going to do is we're going to, after I dried it first. I cleaned it with water and then I towel dried it. And now we're putting, because it needs extra fat. So I'm doing that, and that's really important, so that the meat will be really nice and juicy. And we're going to, I've already preheated the oven to 350, and actually, I think we're about ready to put this into the pan. Looks pretty good to me. So we're going to put this in the pan like this, right, with the actual fat up. Now we've already preheated the pan. We're going to put this into the 350-degree oven. I'm going to take these gloves off because I won't be able to do it any other way. So I'm going to put these in the 350 oven. Now I'm not salting it. I'm not putting any salt or pepper on it. I'm just leaving it the way it is, right? And then we're going to put it in the oven. And I'm going to put the thermometer in the oven, or in the, not the oven, but the meat. Right, like that. Okay, so we'll put this in the oven. And it's going to be in our oven for about 2 hours, and after that's done, then we'll do our Yorkshire puddings, because you want the oven to be really hot, and you want the pan and the lard that you're going to put into for the Yorkshire puddings. You'll put the batter into that, and we'll show you how to do that in a little while. But our next step is to actually do the, and we're going to move this, put it over here for right now. And we're going to do the parsnips, and we're going to do the potatoes. Marion was really sweet. She did a lot of the other work first. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do the parsnips, and you all know how to do the potatoes. So we'll just do these potatoes really quick, and then we'll cut them into quarters, and then you parboil them, and then towards the end of the cooking of the roast, you put them into the pan or another pan, and you roast until they get brown. 1 hour. So the hour before the potatoes, the meat's done. Okay? And then they'll be really nice. They get a little crispy, which I love. And I loved living in England, which we did for about 7 years in an old English house, 500 years old to be exact, on an estate. And it was really kind of cool because It was 500 acres. We were right by the train, so all we had to do was go out our back door, walk in the back, or drive over to the train station, and get on the train to go to London, which I absolutely loved. So we'll cut these in quarters, like that. And I think Marion did hers a little different. So anyhow, and it's just like a one easy meal thing for you to do for Christmas, or they used to do it for Sunday dinner at lunchtime. It was a regular thing that they did. Some people like for Christmas to do turkeys or hams or Cornish hens or whatever is your preference. So I hope you saw our Thanksgiving show. On our Thanksgiving show, we did pig in a pumpkin, which was totally different than you would have a traditional turkey dinner. But my turkey dinner this year is going to be a turkey. So we're hoping that we make these recipes easy for you, right? And you'll be able to do it simply. So we're almost done with this, and I'll take and put the other potatoes into the ones that Marion's already done, and then I'll show you how we do the parsnips. And you don't put the parsnips, you don't parboil the parsnips. What you do with them is you just put them in when you're getting ready to roast the potatoes, okay? So that makes it really simple. But I want you to see how the actual parsnips are going to look, actually, when you put them in the pan. And Marion was sweet enough to do this, and it looks really nice. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 pieces out of that parsnip, which is really good. And if you have never had parsnips, they are so delicious. I love parsnips. A lot of people haven't had a lot of root vegetables, and if you haven't tried them, it's crazy not to. So you want to take this off, right? And you want to take this piece off right there. And they smell so good when you cut into them. I love them. So, and I think we've had them on our show before, but I'm not real sure. So, and you can find all of our recipes on the Chef You and I website. Go to recipes once you get on there on the browser, and it makes it really, really simple. So, we are going to go ahead and do this real quick, and then we'll have the parsnips done, and we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back on the Chef You and I. We are back on the Chef You and I, and with the help of Marion, my sous chef today, she did a lot of the potatoes that you see here, and this is what they're going to look like. You don't want them to be like, actually like you do for mashed potatoes. You do them like this because they're roasted potatoes, right? And so then we showed you how to do these, and you're going to soak these in water, the parsnips, right? And you're going to cook the potatoes, parboil the potatoes, right? Not for very long, and we'll tell you that in a minute. But an hour before, and we've got about 40 more minutes left before we put the potatoes on, as far as putting them into the roast, or not with the roast, but in the oven. But we're not going to cook these quite yet. We're going to do it an hour before we put these into the oven. So we're going to put these up on the stove, and we'll cook these in a little later. So the parsnips that we'll put right here, and we'll wait for those. But my husband loves onions, so I'm going to make a little onion for him for with the roast because he loves them so much. So we'll cut this up real quick, and then I'll put it in another separate pan, and we'll cook it, okay? So the other thing that we're going to make today is we're going to make the batter for the Yorkshire pudding, right? And we're going to do a couple of other things. I'm going to make a salad, which is a little bit different. And I'm going to use some berries in it. We're going to slice this onion up, and we're going to saute it for when we have the roast beef. So, and if, a lot of times people like mushrooms like me, we're going to do that as well. So we'll be able to serve that. And then we're going to do the gravy when the meat gets done. So we'll have a nice little bit of gravy and our Yorkshire pudding. That's what you put the gravy on. I love that. I have always loved Yorkshire pudding. We call them here in the United States popovers. But there's an art to doing it. You have to get the pan and the lard or the Crisco very hot before you put them in. So that's really, I learned that the first year I made them, and it was so funny. But I think the funniest thing that I ever did was try to make Christmas pudding. And that's an art form in itself. That's why we're having mince pies that we bought at a wonderful store. That's an international store. And we're going to have Christmas crackers. And if you've never, a lot of people use crackers or, things on New Year's Eve. Well, we're going to do them for our Christmas dinner. And so anyhow, and then typically in England, at least my experience, was on Boxing Day, when we lived there, we had fish of all kinds, and we even had lobster. We had everything that was with fish. Some other people use different things, but it was a day that we would give a lot of the people that, like the postman or whatever, their gifts on Boxing Day, or maybe before. But it's a day of celebration to let everybody know that we really care. So it's another day of celebration, which I love. I loved Boxing Day. So that's what is traditional. So actually, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and I'm going to get things ready for the salad we're making. We'll be right back. We are back on the Chef You and I, and we're going to make a really fun salad for our guests for Christmas dinner, because we're having a wonderful, group of just a small group of people at our dinner, and one of the people is Marion, that's going to be with us, and I'm so excited about having her on the show today. And my lovely, wonderful spouse, William, who does everything from edited to production and everything for us, my partner. And so anyhow, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to actually make the salad. And with this type of lettuce, you want to tear it. So just tear it like this, really easy, and making it simple. This is what you use. This is romaine lettuce that you use for Caesar salad, but there's a lot of people that don't like Caesar salad and can't have the dressing like me, so I make my own when I make Caesar salad, because all of you know that I'm allergic to garlic, and it doesn't happen for me. So this is just, for 3 or 4 people today, and you're going to have leftovers from the roast, and so we're going to make this, and then if I make enough of this, then I can serve it tomorrow for my husband for lunch. That'll be fun. So we'll do that. And this is about 1.5, this is 1 big head of lettuce. And so it'll make it easy for you. So we'll do that. And then we're going to put celery, we're going to put blueberries, we're going to put craisins, we're going to put tomatoes, and beautiful miniature sweet peppers, which I love. So we're going to do this next. I think that's just about enough lettuce. So I love salads because they're so good for you and so healthy. And, making your own dressing is really simple, because a lot of, dressings have a lot of preservatives in it, and you want to do as the freshest that you can. Okay, so there's our lettuce. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut our peppers. And these are miniature sweet peppers. And so you want to get rid of all the seeds and clean the pepper out like this, so that it looks like that. You don't want this part of the pepper. You just want to clean it. And these are so good in salads. So then you just put these in the garbage. And then we're going to do this one right here. And so we'll clean that one out real quick. And I always dunk them to get rid of the seeds. So anyhow, you can send us your favorite recipes, which we'd love to have. And if you need to get them lighter, healthier, we can do that for you too. Or if you want to appear on the show, you can do that as well. So you can go to our website at thechefyouandi.com and see all of our recipes under the recipe page on the browser. And it gives you all of our recipes. And you can go back for years. We have so many recipes on our website as well as on television and YouTube that anything that you need, we have there. So because people contact us all the time. I got a phone call last night, an email actually, a text, and they said, can you do spinach balls? Well, we had a lovely two little, well, they're growing up now, Addie and her sister, and they actually came and did healthy spinach balls that you bake. So we keep all of that. I didn't mean to do that one. Oh, well, that's the way it goes. And so I was able to share the recipe with the person that wrote me the email. So we've always got it there for you. So we're almost done with this. Let's just do that real quick and get rid of that seed right there. And then we'll do this and get rid of that, and we'll be done with this. You don't want to put tons and tons of peppers in there, just enough to make it colorful. And then I also am going to do some celery, and also I'm going to do an apple. And apples are so good in salads. So we'll do the celery first and get that in there. And I always do it in small pieces and make sure there's no strings. Okay, so we'll do that. It just gives a little bit of crunch to your salad, which is really good. And doesn't take long to do it. So anyhow, what I was going to say is we're going to also teach you how to make mini cheesecakes on this show. We're going to have that for dessert as well. And I'm just going to put this in there while I can. And we might as well cut up our peppers as well. Get rid of that. Come on. Doesn't want to leave. And I'll move this over a little bit so you can see it. So we're just cutting those up real sweet. Put those into the salad. And a few more here. I like different colors in the salad. And so we've got orange, and we have yellow, and we have red. And they're not like regular peppers. They're really sweet, and they taste really great. I use them in a lot of different recipes, as you probably have seen on our shows. So they're my favorites. And you can find them usually year-round. You can still get them now. So I was at the store the other day, and they had them. And, you've got a lot of root vegetables that you can do as well. And I think, teaching your children how nice those are is really a good idea. Instead of them going, ew, I don't want to try that. If you do them in such a way. I mean, butternut squash, spaghetti squash that you can use for people that like or that are vegetarians or like to be on a diet or like to lose weight. That's an easy way to have spaghetti. And so there's just so many things out there. I do things with persimmons too, which are actually in season right now, believe it or not. So we'll do one more stalk of celery, and then we'll put in our apple and our berries. Okay. So I can't thank the 360 Pan Company. They are so generous about giving us or letting us use their pans on our show. They're so easy to cook with. I love them. And today we used their baking pan, their 13 by 9 pan for the roast. And we used, I think, the 4-quart for actually the potatoes, parboiling the potatoes. So pretty soon, about a half an hour or so, we'll be putting in the potatoes. We'll be getting those on. And we're almost done with this. Okay, this looks really good. I will be making a salad dressing for this, and for other people that like their own salad dressings that they like, they can, choose that. So I'm going to do a vinaigrette, kind of lemon vinaigrette or whatever for my salad. And let's do the apple, and then we'll put, I forgot the carrots. Sorry. Lovely carrots. Already done up. So those are really healthy for you too. So let's do this. We'll do the apple. And I kind of like to leave the peeling on. Some people don't, but I do. So anyhow, apples are so good for you. So you have so many wonderful healthy things in this salad that you might not think about doing. I mean, I use everything I can in salad, and unfortunately, instead of having asparagus tonight, we're going to have peas as well. But in the British kitchen, for different meals and stuff, they use lots of vegetables, more so I think than we do sometimes. So it's good to have a lot of vegetables instead of a lot of meat. It's good to have protein. And for vegetarians, they use everything from tofu to whatever, and there's all kinds of new things that you can get for vegetarians that look similar to meat but are not. And they're very delicious. Corn is a company that I've used on my show before, right, to do that. So now we're going to put the blueberries on. Oh, the craisins. I haven't forgotten those, right? You have to remember the craisins. But let's put, I've already washed the blueberries. We're going to put those through, right? And if you weren't using fruits, I'd use black olives or olives on the salad as well. So let's do this. Open that up. Craisins are great. Absolutely great. And people really love them a lot. And come on, let's get them out there. Okay, so we are done with our salad, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to show you how to make wonderful cheesecakes. Really simple, mini cheesecakes. We'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I, and the next thing we're going to do is what we need to put the fat in the pan, and actually we're going to do that right now because we need to let that heat up, right, for our roasted potatoes and our parsnips. Okay, that should be enough, and I'll put this in to get it hot, and this is really important, getting it hot, okay? And we'll do that, and we'll put this on the top. And in the meantime, what we're doing is we're boiling the potatoes we're parboiling the potatoes that are on the back, and then we're going to add those to that hot pan that we just put into the oven. The next thing we're going to do now is to teach you how to make these really mini cheesecakes. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I'm going to take the hot pan that we put the grease in for the roasted potatoes and parsnips, and we're now done parboiling them, and I'm going to take this out, and the camera's going to show you what's going to happen here. Okay? To the hot pan, okay? And then we're going to take the parsnips and put them around as well. And a lot of parsnips, looks really good actually. And then we'll put this back in the oven, and you'll have roasted potatoes. It's very simple. Got a lot of parsnips here. Okay, I think that should be enough. Right, okay. There we go. Okay, we'll put these back in the oven. And here, let me get my gloves. Hold on. And then they'll cook for another hour, and they'll be done. And then, so let's put those in the oven. And we're going to put these on top because we're also going to be putting in the lovely little cheesecakes that we're going to make. So now we're going to make our mini cheesecakes, and actually they're very simple to make. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to put melted butter, which is four tablespoons of melted butter. This is a cup right here of graham cracker crumbs already done. And I like to buy the ones that are already finished that you don't have to do it. But if you want to do it at home, you can do it in your grinder or chopper or your food processor. Okay, and then we're going to show you when they're done how to decorate them. So we're going to put our gloves on because what we're going to do is once we put this all together, right, we're going to pour that into the crumbs, and you're going to make sure you get all of it in there and mix it really well. And sometimes you might have to actually add a little bit more butter to make sure that, because what you're going to do in a minute is you're going to press these down into the paper cups, the mini cups that we're going to use for the cheesecakes. Okay, so that's pretty well done. Let me look at this again real quick, the recipe. So the first, 2 tablespoons, we need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, which I need my producer or somebody to get for me. Actually, it's 2.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. And 1 little half. There we go. And we'll put that over here for right now. And then you want to mix this in to the graham cracker crumbs, okay? And then we're going to take the little paper cups and we're going to push this into, and you're going to use 2 tablespoons of crumbs on here in your, let me do this. Right in here, you're going to add to these, right there, you're going to have 2 tablespoons of crumbs. So 1, 2. And then you're going to press them down into the cup, right? And it looks like a lot I'm putting in, but actually I'm not. Sorry about that. I had to put almost 3 in some of them, so that's 1, 2. I don't need 2 of these. I only need enough for 9 or 10 or whatever. Or I won't have enough of this. Right? Pretty simple. And so then in a minute, you're going to press that down really tight in there. And like I said, it looks like I've got a lot of crumbs here, but actually you're making a little base with it. All right. All right, that's cool. So that'll go right in there. And you can tell usually I got 1 more to do. And then I'll take it up here and I'll press it down. And I use little spoons sometimes to do it. Just makes it easier. You just want to make sure you got enough in each one of them. And I thought I had a lot of crumbs last night. I made some last night as well. And because I like to make my recipes ahead of time. Because of television, you have to do things quickly, right? So now we're ready to do that. Now we're ready to take it up here and actually press it in. So this is what you do. You press them like that to start, okay? And then I'm going to use a spoon to push them down a little farther. You let these sit out for, you cook these for 15 to 18 minutes in the oven. And then what you do is you take them out and you let them sit for 45 minutes on a rack. And when you know they're done when they don't have a shiny top to them anymore, and also they actually jiggle a little bit. So that's cool. So we're almost done here, and then we're going to make, real quick, we're going to make the actual cheesecakes. Okay, so we're going to put these aside. Here we go. I'm going to use this little baby spoon and push them down. All right, these are ready to go. So we're going to put those over there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our mixer out. We're going to take a short break here for a second, and then we're going to get our mixer out, and we're going to make the actual wonderful filling. We are back on the Chef You and I, and we're making our mini cheesecakes, which are really simple to do. Now, this is 1 block of Philadelphia cream cheese, and I always buy the cream cheese that's kind of softened anyhow. You want to get it soft. And then, so we started to do this, mixing it, right? Really slowly. Okay, so now you're going to add your sugar. This is 1/3 of a cup of sugar. Okay, and I need to scrape this down a little bit. So what you want to do is you want to get your cream cheese down in the bowl. Now you're going to slowly add your sugar to the cream cheese until it gets really fluffy. And then you're going to add your 1 egg, and then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla to it. So, starting to do that. Now what you want to do, now that it's really fluffy, is you want to add your egg to it. And then if you get this in there, you're going to add your 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to add the teaspoon of vanilla right now. Okay, hold on. And once you do that, and you blend that in, then you're going to add your sour cream, but you're not going to beat the sour cream in. You're going to work it into the actual mixture. And you want to keep on scraping it down so you get every particle of it, because you're going to need all of it. So you're going to put about 2 tablespoons of the batter, the cheesecake batter, into each cupcake holder. Okay, that's fine. Now you're going to add in the sour cream. Okay. And you're going to just mix it in until it gets all mixed in. You don't want to use the beaters on this, okay? So that looks really good. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to each cupcake holder. All right. And then in a few minutes after I get this into the oven, right, what we're going to do is actually, pardon me, I'm going to take a minute. All right. In each one of them. That's almost 2. A little bit more. And that's what they look like. And it's really going to be good. Now, the next thing we're going to do after we put it into the oven is we're going to time it for 15 to 18 minutes. And what you want to make sure is that they're not shiny on the top, that they look kind of dull, actually. That's a good way to say it. Very kind of dull. And then they look like they're rising in the oven. But once you take them out of the oven, guess what? I'm going to turn this around a little bit for myself. It shrinks a little bit. So it'll be really pretty when you get done. And then we're going to make, I'm going to put, and you don't have to, you can use blueberries and blueberry syrup, or we're going to use caramel syrup and nuts, and actually pecans, which I love. But if you're allergic to nuts or anything, you can't do that. So here's what we do. All right, that goes in there. And that looks pretty good. I want to make sure there's enough filling for everything. All right, look at that. And like I said, it'll rise, but then it'll fall. And then you have that beautiful graham cracker crust, right, at the bottom. And when you take them, you have to let, you only bake them for 15 to 18 minutes. And then what you do is you take them out and you put them on a rack for 45 minutes and you let them cool. And that's really important that you do that. So, and then I actually refrigerated them for an hour or so, and then I was able to take off the paper pieces. So we're going to show you how to decorate them. We're going to do the whole thing for you in just a second. Because by the magic of television, we actually have done some last night. So you'll be able to see how we do it. And I think that's about it. We might need a little bit more. And then here's a cool thing. You can freeze these. So for up to 2 months in your freezer. Of course, you want to put them in a plastic container or something. Make sure. And they all look about the same. And I have plenty of room in the oven, so I'm going to put these in the oven. That one leaves a little bit more. Okay, so we're ready to go. So I'm going to take these and put these in the oven, and 350 degrees. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back on the Chef You and I. We're back, and we're making we already made these wonderful cheesecakes ahead of time. And like I told you, I did some that are still in the actual, you can see that with the camera, you can see that some of them are still in the paper. And the nice thing is that we're going to decorate this with caramel sauce, actually, and nuts. So I'm going to do my nuts. I'm going to grind my nuts. Okay, and then I'm going to use these nuts to decorate, actually. And I happen to have a little bowl over there, so we'll just use the nuts that we have here. And so I'm going to use some caramel on the top of it, right? And then I'm going to decorate it with some nuts. That looks really pretty. You can do whatever you want to make it look good, okay? Or you could use any kind of syrup, like blueberry syrup or something like that. And we're going to take this and put this, actually, I can actually lift this out without breaking it, right? And put it right on the platter that we're going to serve. And then we'll take the next one, and we'll continue to do that. So I have this one out already, so I don't have to do that. So I'm going to take this. Whoop, and then take this and just makes it so simple. And if you love caramel as much as I do, that's a little bit of caramel though. All right. And dust it off and then put it over here on the serving plate. So we'll just keep on doing it. So that's the reason why you get them cold, is that you're able to handle them easily. My grandchildren and everybody that you have over for Christmas is going to love these. But you can use any topper at all to make them. These are nice because they're thick, and you can get this at any store, right? And there you go. So they're coming out beautiful, actually. Better than my candy days when I made candies. We'll never forget those candy shows, right? With Terry and I. Looked like Lucille Ball and Ethel. But now that we have a wonderful new sponsor, Fame's Chocolate, I'm going to get to go to New York and learn how to make chocolate. Handmade chocolates. That's pretty exciting, don't you think? So send me your wonderful recipes and to the Chef You and I, and we'll start putting your shows on, or your products, your recipes on. I'm sorry. So I think we need to take a little break here, and we'll be right back on the Chef You and I. We're back on the Chef You and I, and we're getting ready to put the Yorkshire tin in for the Yorkshire puddings. You need to heat this at 425 degrees, get it really hot before you put the batter in. So we're going to put this in now. All right, now we're going to make the Yorkshire pudding, and it's really pretty simple. It's like making pancake batter or whatever. So you're going to use flour, a pinch of salt, an egg, and milk. So you're going to use 8 ounces of milk with 2 ounces of water, okay? And so the first thing you're going to do is, we've already sifted the flour, and we're going to put it in the mixing bowl and make a well in the center. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to make a well in the center of it. So just like that. So you can see that. That's a well. All right. That's easy. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to pour the egg and 2 tablespoons of the liquid into the well. That's from that. So here's the egg. Going to do that. And then we're going to add a little bit of the liquid. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this and we're going to work it together. And I need a little pinch of salt there. And a little bit more milk. And just gradually, you're going to make it into the batter. Right? And gradually add more milk to it till you have a thin batter. Whoops. Pretty simple. If you know how to make pancakes, this is about the best. This is similar to making any kind of a batter that you would use. And I really, really love Yorkshire pudding a lot. So I'm just going to put all that in there. And very shortly, we're going to be able to put this batter into the hot pans. And that's it. They become what we call in the United States popovers. They're similar to that, but the liquid is pretty liquidy, and you can use this for lots of different things. And then until it's smooth and bubbly, you want to do it like that. So you can see, I don't know if the camera can see this, but it's starting to get bubbly. You want to be able to see those bubbles. We're starting to get it there. That looks good. You can see that it's becoming bubbly. And so, as soon as the actual pan gets hot, you can do this in a straight pan, or you can put them into like muffin pans. I have some big muffins that I use for this. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back, and we'll put this in them as soon as they're done. All right, so we're back, and I'm pouring the batter into the Yorkshire tins. Oh, it's hot, so you got to be careful. That's 2, 3. That, put a little bit more in there, a little bit more in there, and a little bit more in there. And that should do it. Hold on, I have to wipe this off. We'll put these into the oven for 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes at the most. And it doesn't take long, and you're going to put them up at the top of the oven. And we're going to do that right now. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. And when we come back, we'll have everything ready to go to serve for Christmas dinner. We're back on the Chef You and I, and here is the piece de resistance, the Christmas dinner. I want to thank Marion Merton for being my sous chef. She does this all the time for me, and I'm so thrilled. I want to thank her for bringing the Christmas crackers and bringing the recipes for a typical, well, I call it a typical British Christmas. And I want to thank my sweet husband and partner, Bill Raaker, and 360 Pans for helping us out with all the cooking. And, of course, our other sponsor, Drop It, which I'm going to use Drop It in the wine now. And don't forget our new sponsors, actually Fame's Chocolates. And you'll see the log over here. It's so beautiful. And Fame's Chocolates is actually famous handmade chocolates from Brooklyn, New York, and they are just beautiful. They have everything from loose chocolates to chocolate logs, custom gifts. I can't thank them enough for this beautiful Christmas, and happy Hanukkah as well. We'll see you next time on The Chef You and I. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, and bon appetit. See you soon.
Thanks for joining us on the Chef You and I show today. We'll be back next week with another great and healthy recipe. Don't forget to visit our website, thechefyouandi.com, for all of our featured recipes, cooking tips, and clips of the show.